Are these high interest rates having a dramatic effect on this market? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about market statistics for September 2022. And at the end of this video, I'm going to talk to you about some stats I've seen in some articles that may give you some hope moving forward into the new year for both buyers and sellers. Hey everybody, Jason Panos here, Remax Infinity. So we're talking about market statistics for September 2022. And to be honest, some of it surprised me, some of it didn't. The first thing that didn't surprise me, the number of homes sold. We saw a drop in the number of overall homes sold in the month of September. The month prior, we saw about 960 homes sell. In the month of September, we saw just under 900, about 890 homes that sold throughout the month. Here's the interesting fact. The average sale price actually went up. It went up to about $381,000, about $10,000 higher than it was the previous month. And why is that so interesting? Well, a couple of months ago, I said that we saw a spike in July, and it basically went up and came back down the next 2 months. Why is that interesting to see? Because if you look at the month prior in May, June, and as we roll up, everything's kind of gone up at a steady pace, except for those 2 months. It spiked, and then it came down, and then came down, but it was still higher than the previous two. So everyone talked about the last 2 months that we saw a decline, so it must be turning around. That wasn't the case. So don't take that and think that the market is turning the other way, because it's not. The issue is that because we saw a decrease in the number of sales is because buyers are getting priced out of what they can buy. So your buyer pool's quite a bit smaller. So when you go to list, that is one consideration. As a buyer, understand that you're not going to be able to afford nearly as much and you're probably going to hold out. But we need to talk about your situation. The number of homes that got listed in the month was also kind of interesting. We saw about 1,000 homes, additional homes, get put onto the market. The previous month, we saw a little over 1,300. So we're seeing a lot of this inventory add to, but it's not getting taken away. In a lot of national statistics, what they talk about is if you take the number of actual homes that sold and number of months that you would need to do that in, that's the number of months you have in inventory that you need to satisfy the market. If you get to about, depending on the article you read, somewhere between 4 and 6 months, you're in a neutral market. Well, our market, we're nowhere near that. We have about 2 months of inventory on the market right now for what we sold last month. So we're nowhere near in the neutral or even in the buyer's market. So don't even think that when you read that in articles. What's interesting by that is I think what we're doing is adding a bunch of inventory. Buyers are getting priced out of it and they're holding out. This is the interesting part. And the 2 articles and the 3 articles that I have read are indicating from economists that there's a very likely scenario that rates are going to drop in the next couple of months. By the end of the year, they expect they may drift into the 5s. Some articles are read by first quarter next year, we may see the mid to high 4s. And why is that important to know? Number one, relief's on the way. Buyers are going to be able to afford a lot of the things that they've been looking at for the last 6 months. Sellers, if your house has been sitting on the market, there's a very likely chance you're going to sell it probably in the next 3 to 4 months because as the buyers are able to afford it again, they're going to go back and bid. But I bring this in a caution. If you're looking to buy now, don't let the interest rates scare you. And here's what I mean by that. I've talked to several buyers in the last week, and their initial plan was, and I'll give the conventional loan product as an example. They wanted to put 20% down. What we suggested was put 5% down at your 6.5% interest rate. It's still something you can afford. In a year from now, when rates are really, really low, comparably, where they're in the 4s, refi your house then. Get the lower interest rate, and by then there's a very likely chance that your house may have gone up by 10 or 15%. If the market keeps increasing the way it is possible. At that time, not only do you drop PMI, you get a much lower interest rate. Your payment dramatically drops. So it's one scenario you can use to make sure you find the home that you really want and not have to deal with the frenzy that may be coming. I can promise you this, if rates drop into the 4s, we will see a frenzy like we did about 10 months ago where every house, no matter what price point, was seeing 10 or 15 offers within a day. That's a scary thought for some buyers. So think about pulling the trigger early if you found the house that you really want. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this was educational. If you have any questions or you want to talk about your individual situation, I brought up the conventional loan product, but if you're looking at VA, FHA, USDA, 2-1 buy downs, if I don't know the answer, I know someone who does. Let's get together. Let's talk about your situation and see if it makes sense before you decide to pull the trigger or panic, because I want you to be educated on the situation and make sure you make the right decision moving forward. Sellers, make sure you stay patient, because I believe what's going to happen is you're still going to get top dollar in the market in the coming months moving forward. Let me know what I can do to help. Reach out to me. I hope you guys have a fantastic October. Happy Halloween, and I'll see you guys soon.